Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, August the 18th. I told you when we did the briefing on Monday that sometimes over the weekends, we don't get all the reporting done, by Monday morning. And very, very regretfully, I've got to tell you, we've had 24 additional deaths that I have reported now, and so. Again, I can't say it enough, but this thing isn't over. It's not going to probably leave for a long time. There is a way to live with it. There's a way absolutely to live with this, and that's what we're going to have to do. And eventually it will leave. But for right now, the only way that we can absolutely assure ourselves the best odds and absolutely almost the very, very, very ultimate best odds are vaccinations and boosters. 24 additional deaths today. The 7,207th death is an 89-year-old male from Putnam County. The 7,208th death is a 76-year-old female from Putnam County. The 7,209th death, an 87-year-old female from Kanawha County. The 7,210th death, a 97-year-old female from Ohio County. The 7,211th death, a 92-year-old male from Kanawha County. The 7,212th death, an 80-year-old male from Berkeley County. The 7,213th death, a 74-year-old female from Raleigh County. The 7,214th death, an 86-year-old female from Wetzel County. The 7,215th death, a 74-year-old male from Clay County. The 7,216th death, a 76-year-old female from Ohio County. The 7,217th death, a 64-year-old female from Barber County. The 7,218th death, a 73-year-old female from Raleigh County. The 7,219th death, an 87-year-old male from Harrison County. The 7,220th death, a 71-year-old male from Marshall County. The 7,221st death, a 95-year-old male from Ohio County. The 7,222nd death, a 73-year-old male from Wood County. The 7,223rd death, an 88-year-old male from Kanawha County. The 7,224th death, a 70-year-old male from Jackson County. 7,225th death, a 46-year-old male from Logan County. 7,226th death, a 71-year-old female from Raleigh County. The 7,227th death, an 84-year-old male from Putnam County. The 7,228th death, a 97-year-old male from Harrison County. The 7,229th death, an 81-year-old female from Kanawha County. The 7,230th death, an 84-year-old female from Kanawha County. Just let me look at this just 1 second. "24 deaths, every one of them except 2 were 70 years of age and older. We had a 64-year-old and very, very tragically a 24-year-old, a 46-year-old. I often think, that, gosh, think of the life that I've lived since I was 46 years old. All the things that I've been able to do. It's tragic beyond belief when we lose young people, and we've lost some much, much, much younger than this. But the net of the whole thing is just one thing and one thing alone. We have lost so much. All the folks that are 70, 80, 90 years old, look at the wisdom that they're giving to us or been giving to us every day. It's really sad to me, really sad. And they'll really be missed. We've lost absolutely too many, 7,230 folks. It's really sad, really, really sad. Please offer up your prayers. I've said a million times. Especially if you know these people, don't let them, the loved ones of these great people, feel alone. Call them. Active cases in West Virginia, 2,842. New positive cases, 918. Are you okay, Jordan?
Yeah, we're good, sir.
Okay. Daily positivity rate is 7.78, cumulative rate of 8.42. We have recovered cases in West Virginia, 561,921. 350 people are now hospitalized, 53 in the ICU units and 15 on ventilators. We do have some green counties. We've got mostly yellow counties and 3 gold counties, and this seems to keep bouncing around and everything, and that probably is pretty good. But that's Hardy, Monroe, and Logan counties. I just started off early on there and told you about, getting your booster shots. I told you of the example on Monday of 2 good friends of our family and everything that hadn't had their booster shots, and both of them with COVID. I can't tell you enough, especially if you're 50 and older, to get your booster shot. But anybody, I think, now age 5 and older can get your booster shot. You should really do that. I mean, it is really, really, really important. And I want to read this again, and I've said it 50,000 times, but people over the age of 50 can now get an additional booster 4 months after their prior dose to increase their protection further. If you're 4 months out from your prior dose, get that 4th booster shot, please. Numbers keep getting a little better and everything, and we just keep at it. That's all I can tell you there. I remind you, General Hoyer is not with us today, but the last go round, he said over the weekend we signed up 94 additional people that got their first vaccine. Well, from that, did we save a couple of lives? Did we save 1 life? I've said it 1,000 times, but what's a life worth? You can't tell me, I can't tell you. But if we're making that kind of progress, we need to stay at it. Vaccine calculator is up on the website. All the COVID information is up on the website. 111 outbreaks, none in our long-term care facilities, none in our church community. 76 inmates, 56 staff cases in corrections. Homeowner assistance program is up there, and everything. If you'll just call us, there's giant money here that you could qualify for. If we could get you qualified, I assure you we'll follow every rule. And if we can get you qualified, it may help you out. I encourage everybody about giving blood. I've said it 1,000 million times. It is really important that you consider that. I would hope that you would check with your physician first. I called a state of emergency on Monday for Kanawha and Fayette counties. After more and more of these devastating floods, it doesn't take a whole lot of rain. It can come really, really quick, especially in the summertime and everything. But we've got all the different agencies, and everybody's running to try to do everything we possibly can, to help these folks. So everybody's on it. We're going to stay on it. On Tuesday, I went actually to Clarksburg, to Bridgeport, at the ribbon cutting of an accomplishment that we should be so proud of. This is the longest runway in the state of West Virginia. It's the North Central West Virginia Airport. Now, with all of that, they had this big mountain right on the other side of the runway. A terminal that's been there a long time and is now obsolete in some ways. Absolutely thousands and thousands of aerospace jobs are there at that airport right now today. Now, with all that being said, all these folks that you're seeing on your screen and everything showed up, a lot of dignitaries there and everything. And we cut the ribbon on an accomplishment that happened really with 3 or 4 guys walking into the mansion with an idea. An idea that was hatched probably 20 years ago. An idea that mountain needed to be moved and leveled. It was going to cost real money to do so. And they wanted the state to commit $10 million, then they wanted the state to commit to a $10 million loan. Well, I looked at the project for about 5 minutes, to tell you the honest truth. Now, I look at a lot of projects, but I'm a business guy. And instantly, I absolutely bought in. They'd tried for 20 years to get someone to listen and to buy in. We did it. This place right here is absolutely creating job after job and opportunities for West Virginians and those to come to West Virginia all over the place. Now, right now, they have well in excess of 140 acres of level land. We cut the ribbon on the accomplishment to move the mountain. Absolutely, the mountain's gone. All this land is right behind us and everything, and without any question, there'll be great things happen there. We're going to build a new terminal. With all that being said, all kinds of access, immediate access to the runways, and just really, this is the lifeblood of communities. Our airports are just that, and with this big accomplishment. So I really thank all those folks and everything, and just a lot of really great work. You know, I'm only going to call them by their first names, but Roger and Rick and Andy, you know, all of y'all, all the people that made this happen. You know, another Andy up there that's a big guy, a great friend of mine and everything. And you know, I just think of Mike and lots of different people that really helped and pushed this thing really hard. You know, they got a new manager. I don't know exactly what his title is, but Sean, you keep up the great work as well. But guys, I can't thank you enough, and all you beautiful people from that area and everything, just keep doing what you're doing. You're knocking it out of the park beyond belief, and we're really proud of you. Last thing I've got is an announcement that the First Lady's going to be with us today. She's going to join me at 12 noon, and we're going to, you know, she came up with a program and it's really neat. And this is therapy dogs in schools. You know, that we had a few. Now we're bringing on 7 more, and we're going to make that announcement, you know, as to where they're going to be. But you know, our kids, I mean, look, everybody, I mean, if you haven't been in a school for a long time, you need to do that. You really need to do that, because you're going to see our kids and the most beautiful kids and the most beautiful people that are taking care of them, whether it be, you know, the teachers or the cooks or the custodians or whomever it may be, bus drivers, everybody, all the aides and the administrators. You're seeing a lot of good people that are trying to take care and do the greatest stuff in the world for our kids. Now, can we get better? Sure. Do we have to get better? Sure. You know, but there's a lot of good stuff going on. But Communities in Schools has knocked it so out of the park, it's off the chart. You know, their successes are just unthinkable. You know, now we're in 37 different counties across the state. When we were in 31 counties, I don't know what the numbers are now, but when we were in 31 counties, it was 70,000 kids that they were touching. So they've done great stuff, and now with this therapy dog deal and everything, if you could just see, just imagine a kid that was having a tough way to go, whatever it may be. And kids are so challenged today, it's off the chart with all the social media stuff and all the bullying, and then all the situation with drugs, and kids don't have clothes, or kids don't have food. I mean, so many challenges, it's off the chart. Now, but in that, if a kid's struggling and everything, and here's this little dog in the school, you know, you can't imagine how people and these kids gravitate to these dogs. And their dogs are really expensive. and they're really hard to get because it takes a lot of training. But boy, I'll tell you, the ones that we've already placed and communities and schools has already placed have been knock it out of the park success. And so, yeah, I'm going to join the First Lady, and I'm going to bring Baby Dog and let her see her friends. And we're going to announce, I guess, the next 7 schools that are going to receive dogs this fall. And I just think it's great. It's absolutely great. It's an initiative that was just spawned and really great thought and everything. And the really interesting thing about it is, governors and first ladies all across the state, all across the nation are calling, wanting to know how we're doing this, and talking to Kathy and talking to all the folks that help Kathy every day, and on just the program and how it works, because they know just how impactful it can be. So anyway, that's all I've got for right now.
All right, thank you, Governor. Let's now hear from Dr. Ayn Amjad, our State Health Officer.
Good morning. On the last briefing, the governor did announce that DHHR purchased 16 mobile testing vans, and those are going to be used across the state to help health departments and communities with K through 12 testing, any community partners, also with homebound patients. These vans were ordered in August of 2020, but due to manufacturing delays, we did not receive them until the last month or so. But this was provided by a CDC grant to help with these efforts, and we're excited to use them. Thanks, Jordan.
All right, thank you, Doctor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good morning, Governor, and other candidate members and fellow reporters. Governor, I do have a question, not COVID related, but related to the state of education in West Virginia. We've had quite a bit of change in the last week with Clayton Birch going to the schools for the deaf and the blind, and the head of the school building authority becoming the school superintendent. Now I see a couple high-level deputy superintendents and the chief counsel have left the Board of Education, and Paul Hardesty, your longtime ally and friend, has been moved into the president's role. That's a lot of change in a week's time. And as we all know, companies like Nucor Steel and Green Power and other companies thinking and planning to move into West Virginia always look at what they feel is the stability and strength or quality of the public education system. Given all the change in the last week, can you allay anyone's concerns about the state of the public education system and the Board of Education in the state going forward?
Mark, let me say this, and I say this with the utmost confidence beyond belief. Sure, there's been some people move around in different spots and everything, but today we have some even more challenges, do we not? Without any question in my book, we really need to be pouring it on reading, writing, and arithmetic. We know that. We have accomplishments all across the board, don't get me wrong. I am in favor of all the different things, but absolutely with all in us, we need to have the basic foundations, do we not? Now, with all of that, Clayton decided to move on, and so we had to get a replacement. Now, we could have messed around with that for months and tried to figure out whomever and everything, but we had a blessing come to us right out of the sky. The name David Roach. And I've known David for a long time. And David's been a fix-it guy and an absolute just superstar. That's all there is to it. He did a great job at the Small Building Authority. I mean, the School Building Authority, rather. I'm sorry. And with all that being said, it was a perfect fit. Paul Hardesty is a doer. Paul doesn't want to just sit there and do nothing. Now, I'm great friends with a lot of the folks that are on the board. I thought Miller Hall, a great president and everything, good friend, lifelong friend. But Paul is amped up. That's all there is to it. And Paul wants to do stuff, and he will. And David will too. And bringing on the second assistant superintendent and everything, or the deputy, whatever, assistant, whatever the position is called and everything, we know the lady in Upshur County, and boy, I'll tell you what a superstar she is too. So without any question, Mark, I think there's issues there to address, and I applaud them in every way. I have the utmost confidence, and I love it that they're moving. They're moving fast, and they're trying to do something to improve and help our kids. Now, and I really absolutely believe they'll make more and more real progress. We can talk about the failures, but there's been lots of progress for a long, long, long time. You know, Mark, when I walked in the door, we were testing absolutely every other day. You know, we were grading our schools A through F. Most of our schools were falling in the C category. How could we go out and market to people all across the nation and the world and say, come to West Virginia, our schools are C's? Now, absolutely, I do believe that when things come out and they say, you know, here's where we're ranked on this or that and everything else, we're doing great on lots and lots of stuff. But when it comes out, we're ranked this and that, we got to address that too, don't we, Mark? And we got to try to do something about it. We got to try to make it better. And I applaud Paul and David and all those that are doing it. Michelle, she's done great work over there and everything. And so they'll keep on doing it. They're going to do really good. I'm really proud of them.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. My question's for Dr. Amjad. Could you give us a general update on monkeypox cases in the state? And have we gotten to order any vaccines from the federal government? I think the last time we brought it up on the briefing at the end of July, we had not yet ordered any. I just wanted a little update. Thank you.
Yes, Charles. So for the number of cases in West Virginia right now, we have 1 confirmed case and 4 probable cases right now. So they have to get confirmed by the CDC. So, and those are just spread throughout the state right now. We do have the monkeypox vaccine or the Jynneos vaccine in the state right now. There's approximately maybe 700 doses available right now. But keeping in mind that the dose recommendations from the CDC also changed, where 1 vial can now be used for 5 doses. So we're working on that vaccine strategy right now. We have given several health departments some vaccines that they needed to use, and we continue to work on that project as well to get more out there. But we do have some in the state. Yep.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next to Evan Bevins with Ogden Newspapers.
Thank you. I also had a question for Dr. Amjad. There's been discussion about the new COVID vaccine that targets some of the Omicron variants. Do we know yet if that is something that will be available to everyone or just for people who are eligible for boosters? Didn't know what guidance you've received on that so far.
Yes, Evan, that's a good question because we're getting that a lot. And the first answer to that is we don't know when we're going to get the Omicron-specific vaccine from Pfizer or Moderna. We're being told sometime in the fall, whether that's September or October, we don't know yet. We also don't know what you're suggesting too about the boosters, if it will be for just 50 and older like the ones are right now, or if there'll be some other recommendation. And that's one reason, because everything is unknown, that we are encouraging people not to wait for that specific one to come out because of the timing and the unknowns, that if you're eligible right now or 50 and older, to go ahead and get your 4th vaccine rather than waiting because we just don't know exactly what's going to happen yet.
All right, thank you, Evan. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thanks, you guys and everyone for the questions and everything. Thanks, Dr. Amjad, for her explanations and everything. All I would end up with is just this. Right here's 24 more great West Virginians we've lost. Twice as many people as were in the Sago mine disaster. Twice as many. Sago broke our hearts in every way. And we watched night after night to see if some way, somehow we could get those miners out of there alive. We've lost twice as many right here. This thing isn't over. And if you think this thing's over and the sun's shining and everything, you're making a big mistake. And if you're absolutely eligible for your booster shots and you're not getting your booster shots, you're making a big mistake and putting yourself and all your loved ones and everybody at risk. Dr. Amjad just said, you know, there's new stuff coming. We think it's coming in the fall. But we really don't know. She said, well, what I've said so many, many times is, where's the playbook to COVID? Where was the playbook when everything was flying all apart in every direction 2 years ago? And we had to push the right buttons and make the right decisions. You know, I really believe that God above directed us with the right decisions, and we've done that. We've done that in a state that is the second or third most elderly and absolutely the most vulnerable from the standpoint of disease and sicknesses. Absolutely, the state that's not sitting where there's an ocean protecting it or a Great Lake protecting it. You know, it's a state where everybody's driving through all the time. And within a rock's throw of 2/3 of the population of the country. This isn't Wyoming. You know, this is West Virginia. Now, with all that being said, really, there's been a lot of folks that have done really, really good. But none of us like the fact that we've lost 7,230 people. We don't want to lose 7 people. And all I can do is come to you and tell you there is no playbook. There is no guarantee. There is no playbook whatsoever. For you to sit on your hands and wait for something that's going to come maybe in the fall, mistake. That's all there is to it. It's just a mistake. Now look, we have had these vaccines now well in excess of a year. Well in excess of a year. You know, I want to be super respectful always to people's freedoms. Without any question, I'm going to stand rock solid there and never waver from that. And if you decide I'm not taking the vaccine, and I'm not taking the vaccine because that's my right, I'm good with that. I'm as good with that as I can be. Now, I'm going to try with all in me to try to convince you that this is something you ought to do. But the last thing I tell you, and you know, I know this will make Big Jim's Instagram or whatever, but I would tell you just this point blank. For over a year now, for well over a year, we've had vaccines. I don't see people dropping over dead right and left by the fact that they took their vaccine. I do see people dropping dead right and left, you know, from the standpoint of getting COVID and not being able to make it through it. I don't see anybody growing antlers that are taking the vaccine. You know, all the health officials say it is very, 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 very safe. You're taking a heck of a risk not doing this. We can live with this, or we can continue what we're doing, and that is losing people and losing people and losing people. It's really sad. We don't need to do that. I encourage you more and more and more to take that vaccine. Thank you so much.